Part 112. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1111. Han Ying's eyes were filled with tears and she said uncertainly, "Why don't I want to? But I can't just think about this kind of thing. I can't fight him, I really can't fight him. Wen Xiao, I can help you." Han Ying was stunned. "Why do you want to help me?" "Wen Xiao, you don't have to worry about why I want to help you. You just need to give me one sentence. Do you want custody of Shen Yan? Can you cooperate with me and Shen Yan?" Han Ying nodded frantically, "Yes, I want it." When he came out, it was almost noon. Number 3 looked worried. Wen Xiao patted him on the shoulder. "Why are you unhappy?" Xiao, do you believe them?" "Who do you mean?" "Shen Yan, and his mother Han Ying." Wen Xiao got into the car. "Why don't you believe it?" "According to data analysis, Shen Yan has lied once, and the probability of lying again is as high as 70%. As for this Han Ying, you and she are strangers, and the probability of being deceived by her is also very high." Wen Xiao looked at him with a smile. "Sometimes, when doing things, you can't rely entirely on cold and ruthless data, but rely on intuition, human intuition. As far as I know, human intuition is sometimes inaccurate." Wen Xiao put his arms behind his head. "Then let's take a gamble." Number 3 is worried. Wen Xiao seemed to be fine, eating and drinking when he should. Susie and number 3 look at her with concern every day. The first task has not been completed yet, and there are 6 more to come. Isn't she in a hurry? Number 3 is still an irritable robot. "Sir, otherwise I will go directly to the Shen family and kidnap Shen Kuozhong. Anyway, I am a robot, and your human laws are of no use to me." Susie glanced at him. "Just follow the rules and don't cause trouble to Xiao. She will have to clean up the mess when the time comes." Number 3 was still a little aggrieved. "What should I do if this continues? Since she said there is a way, then there should be a way. Don't worry." In the evening, the weather was cool. Ji Mingming cooked edamame, peanuts, and taro, and the family enjoyed the coolness in the yard. Su Yun answered the phone with a serious expression. Wen Xiao peeled a peanut and threw it into her mouth, staring at her mother. Su Yun sighed. "Wen Jianmin has been discharged from the hospital. He probably won't be able to walk normally in a short time." Wen Xiao said, "Oh." Ji Mingyuan shook Su Yun's hand. "Someone in the Wen family will take care of him, so don't worry." Su Yun, "Yes, I know." Su Ce whispered to Wen Xiao. Wen Jianmin brought it upon himself to do this, but his second wife divided his property and got away with it, which is quite happy. "I heard that mother and daughter did a lot to you." Wen Xiao raised his eyebrows. "I don't need to take action in this matter at all. They won't get any benefits. Zhonghui has no vision for running a business at all, and Sulu is even less good. With such assets in their hands, they will die. It is inevitable, and the general environment of the companies they selected is not good. Within half a year, their capital chain will be broken." "Susie, you know this quite well." Wen Xiao smiled. "I learned from Fu Nanli. He taught me a lot." She really benefited a lot from learning business warfare from Fu Nanli and medical skills from her uncle. "Are you sure about the Shen family's affairs?" Wen Xiao leaned on the back of the bamboo chair and looked at the stars in the sky. "I'm sure. That little guy tricked you once. Do you really believe that his failure last time was all his father's fault?" Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1112. Wen Xiao, I have no other way to go, right? Susie said solemnly, "That kid better behave and help you this time, otherwise I don't guarantee what I will do." Wen Xiao knew that her brother-in-law was very capable. To be able to fight with Hizawei for so long and still escape unharmed, her brother-in-law was definitely not an ordinary person. Do not worry. It rained twice in a row, the weather became much cooler, and Wen Qiao also started school. Coincidentally, I met Sulu on the first day of school. Sulu is now becoming more popular again. She now has a dedicated driver who drives a Porsche to take her to school. She wears the latest seasonal models from big brands and carries luxury bags. Of course, these were all said by Lu Yuyu and Wen Qiao on the side. Wen Jianmin is really raising a white-eyed wolf. I don't even deserve it for him. He has neglected his own children for so many years and raised them for others. They fed and clothed him. Tisk, tisk, but in the end he was bitten by the person he valued most. One bite, you deserve it? Wen Qiao just laughed coldly and said nothing. Lu Yuyu dragged her suitcase and approached Wen Qiao. Look, Sulu has a new friend. She's from the piano department. Her name is Zhu Man. Zhao Tong doesn't play with her anymore. The group entered the dormitory building with their suitcases. They are all seniors this semester. In the past, seniors helped Sulu carry her luggage, but now she has juniors helping her. After all, the juniors don't know about the dark history in the past. In their eyes, the seniors are gentle, lovely, and rich. Wen Qiao carried the suitcase by himself as usual, while Lu Yuyu waved a small folding fan. I said, "Beautiful lady, why haven't you changed at all?" It wasn't that there were no changes, she was even stronger because she carried her own luggage with one hand and helped Lu Yuyu carry it with the other. In the past, we had to carry them in batches, but now we can carry them all together. When passing Sulu's dormitory, she saw Zhao Tong moving things out. Lu Yuyu stopped her. "What are you doing?" Zhao Tong pouted, "I'll change to another dormitory." She and Sulu had not been together for a long time. Zhao Tong was very angry about Sulu and her mother snatching Wen Jianmin's property. Because she knew that Wen Jianmin had always treated Sulu well, not as much as his biological daughter, but still much better than Wen Qiao, who was her biological daughter. Wen Qiao can hate Wen Jianmin, but Sulu can't. How could she do such a heartless thing? She never wanted to be friends with someone like Sulu again. She had been completely deceived by Sulu before and had no idea that she was such a dark person. Lu Yuyu waved her hand. "Let's change. It's only the last 2 semesters." Zhao Tong angrily went to the dormitory opposite. Wen Qiao had already put his suitcase. When he came out, he saw Lu Yuyu peeking at the door of the dormitory next door. He didn't know what he was looking at. He put his arm around her shoulders and said, "What are you doing?" Just in time, Sulu walked out. She smiled slightly and said, "Wen Qiao, I have good news for you." Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows subtly. Lu Yuyu rolled her eyes without hesitation. "No, it's good news for you, but it must be bad news for us, Qiao, and you're still lying to me." The 2 junior students who didn't understand why came out of the dormitory and said cautiously, "Senior sister, why are you talking so fiercely?" Sulu brought 2 bottles of water to them. "Thank you, I'm fine." Sulu's last part is that she and her mother will soon go bankrupt, and it will really be game over by then. Spread some flowers in advance. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1113. Lu Yuyu's anger and blood surged, and she was pulled down by Wen Qiao. This girl, who has not learned to be smart until now, can still be aroused by Sulu, which is really worrying for her. Although the 2 junior students were worried, they still left. Wen Qiao and Lu Yuyu were about to leave. Regardless of whether it was good news or bad news, she had no desire to listen to Sulu. Wen Qiao, I'm going to film Mountain and River Love. Wen Qiao paused for a moment. The original novel Shanhelian is quite famous. It is a famous big IP, and the storyline and characters are good in all aspects. It is a bit unexpected that Sulu can tear off such a big cake. Obviously, it was unlikely that Zhenghua Company would take over the resources for her. Most likely, she brought her own money to join the group. After all, she got a lot of money from Wen Jianmin. Wen Qiao's face was expressionless. Does it have anything to do with me? Sulu Yao said softly, why are you so fierce? I just want to tell you. Wen Qiao still had no expression, and directly pulled Lu Yuyu into the dormitory. With a bang, the door closed, and Sulu curled her lips. This time she finally got her chance to shine. The crew of Shan River Love is very sophisticated. All the contracts for the roles have been signed. Moreover, she brought money to join the crew. She asked the crew to film her well. When the TV series starts, she will definitely gain a wave of fans. When the time comes, she will have to market well and not be afraid of not being able to get ahead. She exhaled. She had endured it for so long, watching Wen Qiao's glory, and now she finally no longer had to endure that breath. She should have let her mother leave the Wen family long ago. In the dormitory next door, Lu Yuyu said indignantly, it makes me angry just to see how successful she is. Wen Qiao opened a bottle of mineral water. What's there to be angry about? The books say that good will be rewarded with good and evil will be punished with evil. I don't think so. At least Sulu, a bitch, has never suffered retribution. Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows. No. Look at her, isn't she betrayed by everyone? Even her only friend Zhao Tong has left her. I don't think it's enough. People like her should not be allowed to have money by relying on such despicable methods. Wen Qiao took a sip of water. I think people are doing it, but God is watching, and God will not spare her. Lu Yuyu chuckled softly. Shen Shen said, if God really wants to see you, he shouldn't let you suffer so much. Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows. After all the hard work, the joy comes. So, because she wanted to join the group for filming, Sulu started to ask for leave like crazy. She had already asked for leave frequently in the previous semester. Her teacher was already quite critical of her, but she didn't know how to restrain herself. Instead, she became even more aggressive, so her counselor criticized her. She issued a warning, if you are less than 2/3 of the class time, your graduation will be delayed. However, Sulu didn't take it seriously and continued to take leave and skip classes. Her piano teacher found her specially and had a heart-to-heart talk with her. Sulu, the teacher has been taking care of you since your freshman year. He has always had high hopes for you. When you first entered school, your talent was very good, but after your sophomore year, you started to slack off. You have neglected to study and practice, so that many people who were not as good as you before have surpassed you. If you don't practice a musical instrument for one day, you will be far behind others. What's more, you have been neglecting to practice in the past 2 years. If you continue like this, I won't be able to let you pass the professional class. At that time, Sulu was in a hurry to catch up with the announcement. She had already taken time to attend a class, so why bother her? Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me. The boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1114. All high opera students can take a leave of absence. And I'm already a senior, so taking a leave of absence won't have much impact. The teacher shook his head in disappointment. Zhuan Yan, who is in the same class as you, has already gone to the Austrian concert hall to perform. The next group is Wen Qiao and the others. In addition, Zhao Tong has also made some achievements in the music circle. You are the only one left behind. Have you really given up on your music career? Sulu felt quite unhappy. Chuanyan was her Baiyueguang. Of course she also knew that Chuanyan's violin skills were as pure as fire. But she doesn't have a choice, does she? Step by step, she was always pushed forward by Wenqiao. Teacher, just think that I have given up. I just want to get a diploma. I will most likely not be engaged in music career in the future. The entertainment industry is also pretty good. The teacher shook his head and sighed softly. Okay, you can go, just think that I said this in vain, so you can take care of yourself. In Minal building, a group of people were having barbecue and chatting. We haven't seen each other for a whole summer, but we have a lot to talk about. I heard that the freshman school beauty of High Opera is pursuing our school's top student. Chuanyan Yushu took a sip of beer and said. Lu Yuyo put her hands on her hips. Huh? Chuanyan is the school's president? When was he named the school's president? He is the school's president. What about my Dongyao? Yushu narrowed his eyes. Does your Dongyao care about these titles? Lu Yuyo, it's the same thing whether it's rare or not. Why didn't you tell me during the selection? My shooting ability will definitely promote him to the position of the school boss. Besides, Chuanyan doesn't seem to value these titles. Lin Xiang said lightly, he doesn't care, but at least he is not as cold as Dong Yao, so he was praised like this. Lu Yuyo gossiped, is Haixi's new school beauty pretty? Yushu, she's beautiful. I heard she's a neighbor of Chuanyan's family. I've always admired my eldest brother. Personally, I think it's a good match. At least I can't take advantage of Sulu, that white lotus. Although our handsome guy Zhuang was a scumbag at first, he's so good he reformed quickly and it was of great help to our folk music career, so I still hope that the elementary school girl can catch up with him. Lu Yuyo chuckled and said, Chiao Chiao, you can rest assured. Wen Chiao was eating skewers when he was inexplicably prompted, what should I worry about? What should I worry about? After all, he is also your suitor. If he can find a good home, of course you can rest assured. Yushu hugged Wen Chiao's shoulders. Our beauty Chiao suitors are lined up from the southernmost part of the university town to the northernmost part. She has to worry about everyone's destination. Doesn't that mean she has endless worries? Lu Yuyo, this one is quite special. He is the first person that our Zhou has fallen in love with. Wen Qiao covered her mouth, don't mention it in the future. You are so worried about the world being in chaos. I have long forgotten that the only person I like now is named Fu Nanli. Lu Yuyo shouted, look at this guy, he's worthless and his husband is very strict. Everyone laughed. Sulu hung out at school for 2 days and then went to the crew. She had just joined the crew and worked for 2 days when she was called home by her mother. Sulu heard that her mother's tone on the phone didn't sound good. She hurried home and saw her mother looking worried. What's wrong, Mom? As if grasping a life-saving straw, Zhong Hui said, Lulu, something happened to the company. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1115. Sulu's heart skipped a beat. The good days had just passed, so why did something happen again? What happened? The company has prepared a batch of exterior insulation materials and they were about to be shipped. Suddenly, a document was issued from above. One of the raw materials suddenly failed to meet the standards. Although Sulu is good at calculating, she doesn't know much about the company. What does this mean? It means that a large amount of external insulation materials cannot be sent out and can only be stored in our warehouse. And we have spent a lot of money on this batch of external insulation materials. We are basically waiting for the working capital of this batch of goods. If the goods cannot be shipped out, then that means the capital chain will be broken. Once the capital chain is broken, the company will be doomed. Only then did Sulu realize the seriousness of the situation. She was very upset, Why was fate always so cruel to her? Just after a few good days, it gave me another problem. Then what should we do? Find financing from a big company. Our company still has great prospects. There must be companies willing to inject capital and take shares. Zhonghui, do you think I didn't expect it? I personally went out to find companies for financing, but my legs were broken, and I didn't know much about it. Firstly, because everyone knew that she had made money from the Wen family, the big bosses looked down upon her behavior. Secondly, she guessed that it was because of the Fu family that young Master Fu must have let it go. Therefore, no major venture capital firm is willing to invest in her. Sulu gritted her teeth. It must have been Wen Qiao who was causing trouble. Wen Qiao just couldn't bear to see her leading a superior life. What should we do? Sulu also became anxious. Zhonghui hesitated and said, the money you invested in the crew, you should withdraw it first, let your mother get through this crisis, and then invest in your filming in the future. What do you think? Sulu was anxious. Mom, this opportunity is very valuable. Whether I can be popular or not depends entirely on this time. If the funding is withdrawn now, the drama company will definitely withdraw my role as the heroine. In case the money is taken away, after I came out, the company failed to save me, and I lost my role. Didn't I lose my wife and lose my troops? Zhonghui struggled, but we can't just let the company save us. The company has no money, and you have no backing. What if the money comes in, and you don't become popular this time, and the company is gone? Will you still need it in the future, filming? Sulu struggled so hard that she didn't even know what to do. She was annoyed, but there was nothing she could do. Her ability was not worthy of her ambition, so she could only be incompetent and furious. Sulu struggled all night, and finally agreed to withdraw the money invested by the crew. If she didn't succeed this time, her mother would definitely blame her, and she didn't want to take on this responsibility. It was important to protect the company. As long as the company was there, she will have another chance in the future. She told the producer about this, and of course the producer wouldn't be happy. It's okay to withdraw the investment, but if the investment is withdrawn, the heroine will definitely have to be changed. It wasn't because Sulu brought money to join the group that she played the female lead, but now she has withdrawn the investment. The heroine has to be decided by the producer. What can Sulu say? If you don't have money, you will be a grandson, and you will have no right to speak. She has been in the entertainment industry for several years, and she understands the rules of this industry. This love story is a serious drama, about the harem battle. The production is exquisite, the script is smooth, the director and screenwriter are relatively well known in the industry, and they have produced many TV series with good reputation and ratings. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1116. When Sulu was first officially announced, there was a lot of doubt on the internet, and they all wondered how a 7th or 8th tier artist like Sulu got this drama. Now that Sulu has withdrawn her funding, the showrunners naturally want to replace her heroine. As for the candidate, they already have it, and the producer took the initiative to contact Zhou Tao's agent. The agent told Wen Qiao about this. Wen Qiao was still confused. Hasn't Shan Helian already cast Sulu as the female lead? Why are you still looking for the female lead? I heard from a friend that Sulu was going to divest the investment, and the producer had to change the heroine. The producer had Zhou Tao in mind at the beginning, but Sulu negotiated with him with the money, and that's when Sulu was chosen. Wen Qiao raised her eyebrows. It was just as she expected. Although Sulu and her mother Zhonghui tried their best to rob Wen Jianmin's company, Their management was poor and shortcomings soon appeared. Now they are tearing down the east wall to make up for the west wall. When Xiao took over the script from her agent, I have read this original novel. The plot is well written. It is not a costume idol drama, but a real drama. I think it is a rare and good opportunity for Zhou Tao. Her Ming Li, how is the filming of the middle school going? Go talk to the production director of Ming Li Middle School and see if Zhou Tao has a schedule. If you can adjust it, we will take on this drama. You can imagine how Sulu would feel if she knew this. Zhou Tao's Ming Li is a modern school drama that has come to an end. Because of Zhou Tao's good acting skills and high cooperation, the director likes and appreciates her very much. Regarding the fact that she may join a new crew in the last few days, the director has nothing to say. Without saying anything, I agreed immediately. As a result, sharp-eyed netizens discovered that the official Weibo of Shanhelian's official Weibo about the heroine Sulu had been deleted. There is a lot of discussion on the internet about whether the heroine Sulu will be replaced. Sulu originally thought that some righteous netizens would be aggrieved for her decision. I searched the internet and found that most netizens applauded her. Almost overwhelmingly, they felt that she was not worthy of the role and that it was impossible to play the role of the heroine in the original work. Sulu was so angry. How could this happen? Is she so unpopular? What made her even more angry was that Shanhelian soon announced a new heroine. The new heroine is actually Zhou Tao. It's Zhou Tao, a female artist from Wenqiao Company. She refused to accept it and bought some marketing accounts and trolls to hype up Zhou Tao's role in her role, hoping to take the opportunity to make a big deal out of her. But Wenqiao seemed to know that she would follow this routine. Another post circulated on the internet, saying that an insider broke the news that this role belonged to Zhou Tao, because Sulu brought money into the group, and whose Hudao's role was cut. In the end, Sulu after divestment, the role returned to Zhou Tao. There are different opinions on the internet. Anyway, Sulu did not take any advantage. The producer was very kind to Sulu and gave her the role of the fifth female lead. There were a total of 68 episodes in the show. This character appeared in about 20 episodes and was a follower of the big boss in the early stage. Attendant. He's not even a boss, he can only give advice to the boss, and he's such an unlikable character with all his bad moves. According to Sulu's usual temperament, she would definitely not be able to accept it, but facts always force people to submit, so she had to give in and take this role. When I entered the set, I saw Zhou Tao already dressed up. How can the supporting actress be treated in the same way as the heroine? Zhou Tao's appearance when she first entered the palace was pure and charming, her costumes were sophisticated and elegant, and all the expenses were the best among the entire crew. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1117. And because Zhou Tao belongs to Wenqiao, she hates him even more. But now she is in no mood to deal with others. She is focused on her own company and worries every day whether her mother can revitalize the company. As soon as the show was over, she called her mother. That evening, she hurriedly finished a scene and called her mother again. Her mother's cry came from over there, Lulu. Sulu suddenly felt bad. She hurriedly changed her clothes and hurried home while asking her mother what happened. Zhonghui cried uncontrollably. Although tens of millions have been invested, it is of no use at all. Several other products have also been tested and found to be unqualified. Lulu, it's over, we are going to be over. Sulu suddenly panicked and hurried home. Zhonghui was unkempt and haggard. She hugged her and could only cry. Sulu was speechless and choked. Mom, you are the boss of the company now, why do you always cry when something happens? Zhonghui wailed, I shouldn't have been obsessed with money in the first place. I shouldn't have snatched these companies away from your uncle when I have no business acumen at all. I really shot myself in the foot. Sulu was furious when she heard this. It's already this time, is there any point in saying these things? Then what should we do? Lulu, tell me, what should we do? What can Sulu do? If she has the means, she will still go to film. She has already joined the company and become a strong woman. The two of them almost cried, holding each other's hands, completely unable to think of a solution. In Nanqiao company, Wen Qiao was reading documents when Lu Yuyu barged in. Good news. Wen Qiao raised his eyes. What? Sulu and her mother tried their best to steal several companies from Wenji and Min. In the past 2 days, due to some EU standards, a large number of goods were produced in unsaleable warehouses and could not be shipped. The capital chain was broken. Sulu also withdrew capital. Because they were demolishing the east wall to make up for the west wall, but even if Sulu divested her capital and went back to save the company, she couldn't save it. They were done for. It was really human beings who were doing it. God is looking at it. Sulu's role was not saved, and her mother's company was not saved. The high-class life has only lasted a few days, and it will soon return to its original shape. Now there will be no big enemy like Wenji and Min to help them pay for it. This girl is finished. Qiao Qiao, you are really good at predicting things. Wen Qiao smiled and said, this is because the agency was too clever in calculating, and it cost Ching Ching her life. The blame is on Sulu and her mother being too good at calculating. Sulu fell really hard this time. Zhonghui finally grabbed the company, but she couldn't manage it at all. Once something happened, she couldn't come up with an effective solution and could only act like a headless person. Like flies, stumbling around everywhere without any structure. Soon, the companies that snatched them had to file for bankruptcy and reorganize their debts to repay the money they owed their suppliers. It's really just watching her rise and fall. In just 2 months, so much of everyone's business was completely ruined. The speed was staggering. The next time I met Sulu in school was outside a makeup exam classroom. Lu Yuyu is the assistant to the dean of the department. Wen Qiao accompanied her to get the materials. Sulu was standing outside the exam room for the makeup exam for the piano class exam. Sulu glared at Wen Qiao. She felt that Wen Qiao came here specially to watch her joke. Wen Qiao really didn't have that much time. She didn't bother to talk to Sulu, who was cooking in a raging fire, or Sulu, who was down and out and bankrupt. Okay, Sulu has nothing and won't be able to make trouble in the future. Sprinkle flowers. 520 Happy, I love you. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1118. Lu Yuyu is different from Wen Qiao, she has to go up and talk a few words. I finally snatched the company from Wenji and Min, but in the end, it was defeated within a few months. If I had known this, why would I have bothered in the beginning? Wouldn't it be great to be under the wings of your Uncle Wen? Look at you now. Sulu raised her hand to hit Lu Yuyu, but Wen Qiao grabbed her wrist. What are you doing? Sulu looked at Wen Qiao with red eyes. Don't bully others too much. Wen Qiao really didn't understand where her words came from. Lu Yuyu really couldn't stand her White Lotus behavior, bullying others too much. Who bullied others too much? You have always bullied Qiao Qiao. From the beginning, you have lived a prosperous life in the Wen family, enjoying Wenji and Min's use of you. Treating Qiao Qiao as a biological daughter, you went to ask for money from your biological father, but you persuaded Qiao Qiao to be self-reliant, and insulted others with thousands of dollars. Later, when Xiaomo accepted the Mathematical Olympiad Award, you broke the news to the media, which made Xiaomo was stimulated. After that, you pretended to be Miu, and you did all kinds of despicable things to Qiao Qiao. Finally, you and your mother took away the money from the person who had raised you for more than 10 years. Not kind, he went bankrupt within a few months. Why are you blaming us Qiao Qiao again? Sulu, if something happened to you and you could find the reason from yourself, you wouldn't end up like this. People taking the makeup exam were all watching. Sulu felt that she had lost all face. She burst into tears. It was Wen Qiao who harmed me. Now I have nothing, nothing. If her mother didn't divorce Wen Jianmin, maybe I won't do that. Wen Qiao wanted to laugh, but was too lazy to tangle with this kind of person, so he pulled Lu Yuyu out. Sulu stood outside the makeup exam classroom. The sunlight filtered through the window at the end of the corridor, making it look very far away. What else does she have now? With no money, no friends, and no career, the piano that I could have relied on to survive was all taking retakes. She has nothing left. She had nothing left. Wen Qiao went to Minal building with Lu Yuyu. Not long after he sat down, his phone vibrated, showing some photos and videos sent by Shen Yan. Save it well. Wen Qiao clicked on it and saw that Shen Yan's arms, back and chest were all bruised and scarred, and even one eye was so swollen that he could hardly open it. Her fingers couldn't help but tremble, and a surge of anger instantly jumped from her chest to her forehead. Shen Qiuazhong is simply not a human being. She said to Lu Yuyu, I have something else to do, so I'm going home first. Lu Yuyu was so carefree, she was still joking, go home? Should you go to Master Fu's place? Wen Qiao had already run away. Lu Yuyu touched his neck, wondering why Wen Qiao suddenly looked worried. After Wen Qiao got in the car, she clicked on the video. She had agreed with Shen Yan, because Shen Qiuazhong would definitely hit him again. If possible, she asked him to find a way to record the video of Shen Qiuazhong beating him. When the lawsuit comes, she can use these videos and photos to win custody of Shen Yan for Han Ying. In that video, you can clearly see Shen Qiuazhong beating Shen Yan mercilessly with a belt in his hand. The child Shen Yan was stunned and didn't say a word. He just hugged his head and huddled on the ground. Wen Qiao was angry and distressed. She saved the videos and photos, made 2 backups, and even encrypted them. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1119. This battle must be won. Not only to get blood for himself, but also to vent his anger on Shen Yan. As a father, he often domestically abused his mother. Shen Yan grew up in such a family atmosphere. It is already very rare to be like this now. And after getting along with each other for a long time, she knew that Shen Yan did many things just for the sake of get someone's attention. Just like that, Wen Qiao would receive a video every few days. Wen Qiao felt that if this continued, Shen Yan might really be beaten to death by Shen Qiuazhong. There can be no further delay. She and Fu Nanli asked for the most powerful lawyer in Haikan to handle family cases, and took Han Ying with them to the Shen family. Her purpose was not to put Shen Qiuazhong in jail. She has 2 purposes, one is Shen Ning's blood, and the other is Shen Yan's custody. As long as Shen Qiuazhong can compromise, then they can discuss it. If that doesn't work, she might as well send him on a tour of prison. It was afternoon when we arrived at the Shen family. Even in the afternoon, the light in the Shen family mansion was not good. Wen Qiao didn't know it before, but now he knows it. Because the owner here has a mental problem, he always likes dim light, which makes his children suffer. Shen Qiuazhong curled his lips and said, Miss Wen, why are you bringing so many people here today? Wen Qiao smiled, just let Mr. Shen fulfill his promise. Shen Qiuazhong remained calm, oh? I don't quite understand what Miss Wen means. Wen Qiao said indifferently, Mr. Shen said before that if I can make Shen Yan's average score reach 60 points, I will fulfill my promise and ask your daughter Shen Ning to donate 600 ml of blood to me. I remember correctly. Shen Qiuzhong chuckled, how can you return the will to go back and forth? Didn't you already pass the test last time? Shen Yan's average score is only over 40, does Miss Wen want to review her incompetence and dereliction of duty? Shen Yan clenched his fists in anger. Wen Qiao gently raised his hand to indicate that he didn't need to be so angry. What if Shen Yan passed the test in his 40s and was given the instruction by Mr. Shen? There was a sinister look in Shen Qiuzhong's eyes, and he looked at his son with an almost cannibalistic look. Shen Yan, come here. Shen Yan and Han Ying were both standing behind Wen Qiao. In addition, behind Wen Qiao were her uncle Su Si and number 3. Shen Yan didn't move. Shen Qiuzhong was on the verge of rage, eating everything inside and out, thinking that if he united with Wen Qiao and Han Ying, what would happen? These people are all dreaming. Wen Qiao was sitting on the sofa, with a casual but sharp expression. Why did Mr. Shen call Shen Yan over? Are you going to beat him again? In front of so many people, no matter how rampant Shen Qiuzhong is, it is impossible for him to admit domestic violence. His expression became ferocious. Miss Wen, I advise you, this is a family matter of my Shen family. As an outsider, you should not interfere too much. Wen Qiao stretched out his hand to support his head, took out a mobile phone, and glanced at Shen Qiuzhong. My opinion is that you should get rid of your servants first. I have something to show you. Shen Qiuzhong's eyelids trembled and he glanced at Uncle Chen. Uncle Chen immediately called the maids to exit quickly. Soon, there were only a few of them left in the mansion. Wen Qiao projected the video on his mobile phone on the large white wall of the living room. Shen Qiuzhong saw that the video of him beating Shen Yan was played so openly. Come on. His face was filled with gloom, his fists were clenched, and he secretly exchanged glances with Uncle Chen, who seemed to understand. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 1120. One video is about 5 minutes long. Shen Qiuzhong beat his son violently for 5 minutes. Wen Qiao only played it for about 30 seconds before turning off the video, because Han Ying was already sobbing behind her, and she might not be able to bear it if she continued to watch it. Mr. Shen, can we talk now? Shen Qiuzhong was choked by someone. He had never been so nakedly threatened. He was furious, but he couldn't show it too obviously. He smiled sinisterly and said, what would Miss Wen want to talk about? Wen Qiaoun said calmly, Mr. Shen should know what I want. The 600 milliliters of blood you promised me before was done by yourself in secret and you broke your promise. You should naturally satisfy me with this request, Mr. Shen. What do you think? The corners of Shen Qiuzhong's mouth twitched twice but he said nothing. Wen Qiao's eyes darkened and he gently rubbed his fingers. Mr. Shen's condition is that I discipline Shen Yan well. I am Shen Yan's longest-serving tutor. The staff in your mansion also said that in recent days, Shen Yan is no longer naughty and mischievous, and his cultural classes have also skyrocketed. If Mr. Shen really wants to be a cunning and dishonest person, I might as well let the outside world know your true face. Let's see what happens in the future. Do you dare to have business dealings with Mr. Shen like this? Shen Qiuzhong, you. Wen Qiao, now that I'm here, of course I have comprehensive evidence. It's up to you whether you want to make it public or not. Shen Qiuzhong almost jumped up in anger. If you have any other requests, please state them clearly once and for all. Wen Qiao raised his eyes. One is 600 ml of blood, and the other is that Shen Yan's custody rights belong to Ms. Han. There was seriousness in Shen Qiuzhong's eyes. Suddenly, with a flash of lightning, Uncle Chen, who stood behind Wen Qiao, snatched the phone from her hand and threw it directly into the bathtub not far away. The phone seemed to be leaking. The power was out and it was scrapped on the spot. Wen Qiao was stunned. What is certain is that the Shen family definitely does not have electronics or high-tech industries. Shen Qiuzhong suddenly felt confident. What if I don't agree? Su Ci's eyes looked like he was an idiot. Did he know there was such a thing as a backup? Shen Qiuzhong is only over 50, how come he is so behind the times? Wen Qiao, don't agree? Then I will immediately send my backup video files to Weibo, buy 100 marketing accounts, and buy a hot search. Mr. Shen can become famous instantly. Shen Qiuzhong's eyes were gloomy. What did you say? Wen Qiao glanced at Shen Qiuzhong, then looked at Uncle Chen, and couldn't help laughing. You don't really think I only have one copy of the video on this phone, do you? To be honest, I have backed up many copies, each one there are places. My friend is staring at the video right now. As soon as I give instructions, she will post it online. Mr. Shen, you don't have much time left. I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it. Shen Qiuzhong, how do I know you're not lying to me? Wen Qiang said, then, first post a few photos of Shen Yan's injuries online and mosaic his face. 2 minutes later, Wen Qiao raised his eyebrows. Mr. Shen, search the internet for the Pinyin Xinyan's Weibo to see if there are any of these photos. Uncle Chen was confused and took out his mobile phone. After searching, he found that there were 3 photos of bruises. They knew very well that they could tell at a glance that they were the young master. Sure enough, she had backup.